tutorial, I'll discuss how to make different cuts. So in the features tab, you can see we have a number of cuts. We have the extruded cut, the revolve cut, swept, lofted, and the boundary cut. But in this tutorial, I'll discuss only the revolve cut and the extruded cut. So for the extruded cut, I need a shape that goes through a certain 3D model and takes off material. So I'll give you an example. I would take a hexagon and place it on the top surface of the cylinder, and then that sketch moves downwards till the end of the cylinder and takes off the material. And there's going to be different settings that I will introduce, and just stay tuned. So go on sketch, press sketch, and click I click on the wrong, select this, I clicked on the wrong thing. So make sure you don't click on this right plane, but rather the surface of the cylinder. Now it's the right. Now I'll select the polygon tool, select, click again, smart dimension it, should be, just place it to be 30, and I want one of the lines to be vertical and it's fully defined. So while being in the sketch, go on features tab and select extruded cut. So if I rotate this whole image, you can see that there's a preview that shows how the cut will be made. Again, like the extruded boss space, we have certain settings like blind, which is just if I change this number here, the preview changes accordingly. It moves in this, and then again you can use the arrow to just move it up and down. Let's say, as I mentioned, I want to make a cut till the end of the cylinder. So one way to do is to say through all, which means it goes through all the 3D body. So in the direction of that body, whatever comes through, it just takes off the material off it. Through all both means it moves in the opposite direction as well, and you can specify what the second direction has to be. Is it through all or should it be blind? Yeah, so also you can use up to next, which is similar to through all, but it depends on the shape that we have. Up to next, for instance, if I had another solid body attached here underneath it, it would just go until the next edge or next face. Whereas up to surface is, so if I was to, I have to select a surface that this sketch has to go until. So in this case, I can either select this plane or the surface itself. I would select this face. Surface, face, pretty much similar until we go on to talk about surfaces, then it's a bit different. But for now, I'll stick to the term face when talking about 3D models. So if I click on this face, you can see there's a preview that shows how long the cut will be. Another thing I can do with this cut is to draft it. Draft means, so as it's moving, taking off material while it's going downwards, it also has an angle. So it is, so this the initial cut will not be the same as the final cut. So yeah, so if I click on draft here and give it a certain angle, you can see that this figure here is not similar to the end. I'll keep the draft to show you guys how it looks like. So click on it, and you can see that it goes nicely through the cylinder, while you can see these surfaces, because there's an angle of, I don't remember, it was 4 or 5, but we have an angle, and at the end it's much smaller than how it was. So there you have the extruded cut. Now I will talk about the revolved cut. Now this one is normally used when you have to make let's say counterbores or threads or holes. So I will just take a very basic example of a hole which is tapered at the end, and I will show you how this tool can be worked. So I will just go and delete this one, delete this sketch also. Yes, yes, okay. So what I want to do is make a hole right at the center. So in order to make it right at the center, I have to, just like the revolve feature, you have to make a shape according to how you make the hole. So if I make a rectangle on the front plane, which is right in the middle, then if I revolve it around an axis which goes through where the right plane and the front plane intersect, then I can make a hole exactly where the center is. I'll show you guys. So select the front plane, click on sketch, choose the appropriate view. You can also press Ctrl 8. I just have a habit of using this, but Ctrl 8 is obviously the faster way to get to this view. Alright, so next thing is I want a line, and I will going to make the side view of half of the hole that I want. Remember, side view of the half of the hole that I want. Click, click again, and click. There you go. I'll just smart dimension everything that I want. So make it a bit nicer numbers. It doesn't matter, but it's just want some nice numbers. That's it. So yeah, that's 20, and we have a fully defined sketch here. You can see. All right. So go on the features, click on revolve cut. And now it asks you, like the revolve feature, it asks you which line do you want the sketch to revolve around. How should it revolve around, and how much should it revolve around? So for the axis of revolution, I would select this line. It could also be in a center line, but I have a line already, so I'll just select this one. And you can see already there's a preview, and it shows that this sketch is revolving around this line, and it's taking off material. Remember, revolve cut takes off material. The revolved boss feature adds in material. And again, I have certain features that I can, certain revolve types that I can use, where there is up to vertex, up to surface, offset from a surface, and midplane. I'll just discuss midplane and blind. So for blind, this is moving from, so if I zoom in, so it revolves around this line here, and it ends up till 360. So if I reduce it, sorry, it was opposite. So it moved from here till it started. So if I reduce it, then obviously you can see that the cut has been reduced. You can reverse the direction, and it becomes the mirror image of it. For the mid plane, whatever angle I've inputted, it is half on this side and half on the other side. So if I was to make it to 270, then you can see it looks like a Pac-Man for now, but yeah, so you can see how it looks like. And if I press OK, we have taken off material. And you can also see that if I was to make a section view right at the front plane, okay, it is at the front plane, you can see that there is also a taper. Thank you guys for joining. When I do some exercises, I'll make sure I go even deeper into these extrude cuts, and hope you guys join in for the next tutorial. Bye.